we're going to try this again. Had some problems with the electronics, but we started out by talking about that old phrase, the adage, vote for me or you ain't black. I don't want my children growing up in a racial jungle. We talked about crime bill, the legislation of Biden as senator, some of the things maybe that Biden supported while he was in Congress in the 70s. So it leads to the question we're starting out the video today is, which commander-in-chief is more intolerant of minorities and particularly African Americans? We're talking about Biden versus Trump. When it comes to the lifestyle, the successes, the amount of freedoms for African Americans and other minorities, which commander-in-chief would be the best choice for the stated group of people? Would it be more beneficial, let's say, for blacks to have a president like Trump than someone like Biden? There are many folks who believe that the Democrats exploit black voters for election purposes, and that the self-reliance party of the Republicans, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, creates more jobs and opportunities and a better economy for blacks than Democrats. So there are plenty of African Americans on both sides of the aisle that believe their party that they are affiliated with is the better choice. So I want to bring it to the folks and ask you guys, which party do you believe is better in regards to the lifestyle, the economics, and the overall success of minorities, particularly African Americans? And I will tell you right off the bat, you don't have to be African American to answer the question. Maybe you see something that some of the voters do not. That is why my box is open to you. This is a MAGA-friendly program. So the fact that you see the name of the program and you lean right, don't let that sway you, because I give you plenty of time in the box without any fear of censorship, being blocked or banned. I don't ban any of my guests or block any of my guests for their opinions. The fact that you may disagree with me never means anything. So come on in the box, we'll talk it out. Real quick before I go to the box, Trump, he will make sure you stay in the toilet. If you think anything else, you have problems, says Brenda Mitchell. What is your definition of staying in the toilet? I want to know that. That red hat reminds me of the 1 million people that died in the U.S. from COVID. Wow, that's deep. Do you blame President Trump, number 45, for all of the COVID deaths that took place during this time? You blame that one guy solely responsible? 1 million deaths? You put that on Trump's hands? That's pretty powerful. Let me go to the box. Gangster. Always a friend. Let's start out with Gangster G-Ma today. Gangster Grandma, good
Now
afternoon.
look at here. I am so sick of your ass saying, well, what happened in 1977 with Joe Biden. I am so done with you. I am. Because you
I
are just...
have to ask you, listen, let me give it to you this way. When we talk about Trump being intolerant, do we not talk about the Central Park Five? Do we not talk about him being sued for not renting the black? We bring up Trump's past. Why should Biden's
Okay,
past
but
be
no,
included?
but people took that shit out of content. Go read the article.
Okay,
Go
so
read the article.
give me
Go read it.
the context of
Well, he shouldn't
sponsoring
have said it like it. He should not have said it in that way. But he didn't want his kids to be in a segregated school system. He wanted the kids all to be together. And he said it the wrong way, but still, people took it and ran with it, especially GOP.
Your statement, your explanation sounds a hell of a lot like there are good people on both sides. You're making up
No,
excuses. That's what it sounds like.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
said he shouldn't have said that. He should have
Okay.
worded it different.
But you do understand why people would hear Joe Biden say that and think he's racially intolerant, right?
One statement, 1977, when Trump has been saying shit
Okay.
nonstop.
What about vote for me or you ain't black? How do you take that?
Oh my fucking God. I am so, you guys are just, you're
That's
doing it.
so
And you say
gangster.
you blue. And you say you blue? And you
I
say
am
you
blue.
fucking blue.
Yes, I'm fucking blue. Yes,
No, you really are fucking not.
I am fucking blue.
No,
Answer
you're
the
not
question.
because you know what he meant by that. And
Answer
who
the
the fuck
question.
would vote red if you're black? My black ass wouldn't vote red. What the fuck?
Okay.
And I'm
Vote for
black as
me,
shit too.
but you
This guy look white.
you're not answering my question though. Vote for
Okay,
me or
what's your
you
question
ain't black.
again?
How do you take? What does that mean to you?
That means I ain't stupid. Who the hell would vote? Who would? Who would vote? Who would vote red if you're black or brown? Who would? Who the fuck would? He don't
Gi-
like us. GOP
Give,
don't like us.
give me a reason why you believe that President Trump does not like African Americans.
Oh, for real? For real?
Listen, let me make something clear. I'm liberal. I've never supported Trump, even though I ask these questions and play devil's advocate. I want to hear what folks say because we got folks from both sides in the room. I'm asking you, give me reasons why, if you
Because he
believe.
defended the police about beating the shit out of us or killing us. Or well, they should roughen us up some more. Teach us a lesson. He said that. Go look at the things. Go look. He said that. Oh, we need to come on stronger. I'm so sick of the shit. He did. Why would we want to vote for him? He don't
So
like
how do
blacks.
you?
He don't like Mexicans. He sure youngly don't.
So when
He
you
don't.
when you're talking, but wait a minute, when you're talking about Trump promoting police and defending police, you do understand a hell of a lot of liberals were in favor of stopping, frisking, all that stuff too, including Joe Biden. How do you explain that?
They stopped it. They wanted to stop it. Not Trump. Oh, Trump wanted to bring that shit back.
Okay, so I guess I got to ask this question then, because this comes up inevitably in every conversation. Black Swag talks about Trump giving money to HBCUs. Talk to
Oh
me.
my God. Oh, here we go now. I am so sick of the GOP. He gave $2.5 million. Do you know how much Biden gave in 2 fucking years? 5.8 billion. Billion. Not million. Billion.
I have
Okay?
not heard that. Is that true? I
Yeah,
haven't
that's true.
heard
Go look
that.
it up. Hey, go
Okay.
look it up. Because my baby went to one of them. Go look it up.
Okay, that's a good one. Let me present this to you once again. John Chick in the comments talking about you, ma'am, because your pronoun is correct here. She's delusional. He dated a black girl. Everything she said was a lie.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. He dated a black girl. Oh, he got some coochie. He liked that berry, but he's still racist. What the fuck?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, if a person is intolerant, if they are truly racist, and they date someone of that race, do you normally see that, like a Klansman dating a
Come
black girl? I
on
mean,
now. There's white women, no offense to Caucasian women, that have black kids are racist as hell. Now come on. Now
so if you get wait,
come up with that shit. I have black friends. I can't be racist. I dated a black woman. He can't be racist. For real? For
okay.
real?
So I gotta ask. Let me ask you. I'm gonna have to move it on soon. But when you hear the
I
phrase
can't
"Make
deal with
America,"
these people.
when you hear the phrase as the hat says "Make America Great Again," what
Oh
is that
my
not a
God.
positive thing? Is that not
For
positive
real?
for the country?
For real? You
I'm
think that
asking.
okay, and you're blue? Are you for? Oh my God! I should I'm telling you, I should be a co-host because I'll be strangling your ass some damn time because you know that Catholic woman and that other dude, yeah. Because you know what? That was the KKK slogan. Let's make America great again. That was white supremacy. What the
I
fuck?
thought that. Are you sure? "Make America Great Again" is a KKK slogan?
What is make America great again? Yes, it was. What
I've
you think the
never.
white people made that? My white people made that up, honey.
Well,
They
then
want
why
the
did? So
instead
why
of
did?
what the instead of make America, they want to make white America great. They
Yeah, but
big mad
you
right
do
now.
wait. You do realize that "Make America Great Again" is not a slogan that was created by Trump. It was used in the Reagan
No
and
shit.
Clinton. Reagan and Bill Clinton campaigns used
I
that
know that
same
they was
slogan.
stupid. They was Riri's too. They was dumb as hell too for using it.
Okay.
What the
All
hell
right.
they were? And I like me some Clinton. I like me some Clinton. Only thing he got in trouble with got a BJ in office. Ain't that about something? But hell, he did a lot of good shit. He just got caught getting a BJ. Hot damn. And you
So
know
last
what? And you know what? That's messed up about that. He got caught getting a BJ and he lied about it, right? Donald Trump did a whole lot of shit and he still was in the office. He got impeached twice, still in the office.
Well, you got to
But
get convicted. You can accuse them of anything. The convictions did not come. That's the problem. Last question. Last question. The
what?
Democrats start the Demo because you're mentioning the KKK over and over again. You got
Mhm.
D Hill in the comments pointing out that the Democratic Party started the KKK. Talk to
Well,
me.
no shit, Sherlock. But we switched. I mean, are they this damn special? I tell you, these megas are two French fries short of a Happy Meal. No shit that we was. But we switched parties, didn't we? Now we flipped. Now we're all for getting everybody their rights and stuff. The GOP wants to take them. And I have one more thing. You know that one dude that wants to run and what's his name? Frances or whatever the fuck that fool is up in Florida. What's his
Nice.
name?
Are you
Not
talking
the
about Ron
damn
DeSantis?
governor.
Ron
Yeah.
DeSantis.
Do you? And I swear to God, if you agree, let me tell you, that man is not gonna run. If he does run, he's gonna lose. Cause you know why? He's homophobic. Okay, for one,
Mm.
he wants to whitewash history. He's taking books out of schools. Now, do you really think? Do you really think he's gonna run? He's gonna run? No. Cause you know
I
why?
think if I
This is
think if
why.
Ron DeSantis, okay, let me say this first of all. Even if you're
Mm.
correct about suggesting that DeSantis is homophobic, I'm just going to tell you, most of our presidents throughout history have been racist as hell, and we still view them as successful leaders. So being homophobic, as bad as this
Not
is
him.
going to sound, being homophobic, as bad as this is going to sound, does not disqualify you from being president. I do
Well,
believe
let me tell
DeSantis
you.
will run.
No, let me tell you. This is 2022. People's done with that shit. People's done. People are so
Okay.
done. And let me tell you, the ginseng are coming. And these little Riri, they didn't learn their lesson, huh? They got their asses kicked 4 years in 2020, 2022. They're going to
All
bring
right.
that stupid fool back in 2024. You don't think they're going to have his white ass handed to him again? And
All
I'm
right,
being fucking
gangster.
real.
All
No,
right,
I'm
gangster.
just,
Good talk.
I'm
I
just,
gotta
you
go.
know what I'm saying? That is it. And what I'm being real, they're going to get his head handed to him on a silver platter because people are sick of him. People
All
are
right.
done with him. And
Okay.
Megan a two
I
French
gotta
fries serve a
no,
Happy
I
Meal.
gotta move it on. I got other folks, but I do appreciate you coming through. I do gotta move it on. We'll
But
make it
aren't
on
you
the
at
next one.
lunch too? Are you at
Yes,
lunch?
ma'am. Yes, I
Oh,
am.
my
That's why I
bad.
gotta move it on. Catch you later. Gangster's always passionate. She always comes with the passion. So I understand some folks are going to disagree with her, and I invite you to come in the box. I see there are folks in the box. Looking in the comments, Stevie D says she's racist and she don't even know it. Wow. You will make up any excuse to cover the Democrats' agenda, says J170. You know, there are plenty of people that say the same thing for the other side, but come in the box. Let me know what excuses are being made for the Democratic agenda. And I'm talking about a genuine excuse, not something that you simply disagree with. Looking at it, keep your blood pressure down, case the G-Bond. Democrats equal the KKK, says Sylv Dahl. You know, the problem with that, I'm going right back to the box. If the Democratic Party, the party that created the KKK, the party of slavery, the party of the Confederate South, which is all of that is true. All of that is 100% true. But when you skip forward to 2022, what party is waving the Confederate flag and where the hell are people like Nick Fuentes showing up? For some strange reason, if the party switch did not happen, and the Democratic Party is the party of slavery, the party of KKK, the party of the Confederate South, why aren't those people still hanging around Democrats? There should be Confederate flags at Democratic rallies, not Republicans. The Republicans represented the North and they were fighting against the Confederates. Why are they now defending statues of soldiers that were killing their party? Something absolutely had to happen. It makes no sense at all. Looking in the box, Hard Head Herbert. Good Hard Head Herbert. If TikTok works today, because it's our history, good or bad. Seriously, Karen, it's not our history. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of African American stuff that happened in history. I don't see the Republican Party going nuts over that. They're going nuts over the bad guys. There's a hell of a lot more to American history than just Confederate soldiers. Let me see Harriet Tubman being put on a $20 bill and hearing the Democrats say she doesn't deserve to be on a $20 bill. And let me see Republicans fighting for that. There's more to American history than just these folks down in the Confederate South. And I don't see the same enthusiasm from the Republican Party. But maybe that's me. Maybe I'm missing out on something. Herbert, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. We're talking about, in regards to minorities, which commander in chief between Trump and Biden would be the better one to serve those communities.
Of course, Biden, because he got a party behind him that's trying to do kitchen table stuff, trying to help the everyday American. When they had the election just a couple of weeks ago, the Republicans talked about inflation and gas prices and crime and quite a bit of other stuff. And time they won the two more seats in the House, they say they're going to be at least 50 investigations into stuff that's going to waste money that can be used to help people pay bills
Yeah, but
and keep
okay, but
the.
how do you respond to the fact that the same thing, many folks will say the same thing happened under the Trump administration, where the Democrats were using money, as you say, to pay bills, constantly going after Trump in investigation after investigation.
Because he was doing stuff that needed investigated.
Well, they believe the same
Anytime,
about Biden. But they believe the same thing about Biden, that he's doing things that need to be investigated.
that man haven't did anything, and you can't equate his son's action to what he's doing. And matter of fact, Hunter Biden is sober. He is sober. They keep dragging him in, but every time DTJ show up, his eyes is red, his speech is slurred, and look like he just crawled out the trash can behind Bob's liquor store.
But what if you said you can't bring his son into it? What if his son was doing this in full, where his father, Joe Biden, had full knowledge of it and was potentially receiving financial benefits from it, such as 10% to the big guy, which is a quote you're hearing quite often. So, what if he was actually giving his son his blessing in regards to what was going on?
But that's hypothetical. But we know
Yeah.
Ivana Trump, Ivanka, what's her name? Ivanka got the Chinese pattern. They made $100 and some million. Trump just signed a deal with Saudi Arabia to do a Gulf Coast over there. Jared Kushner got $2 million, a $2 billion loan. Steve Mnuchin got $1 million. All they did was got him off his position and used this government as a way of ciphering benefits and using it as a brokerage firm.
Yeah, I mean, I get your points on Trump, and the guy is obviously dealing with many investigations that we need to get to the bottom of. But when I asked you about Hunter, you said that's hypothetical. So my question to you would be, even if it's hypothetical, should we not get to the bottom and find out if that is all it is hypothetical? Should that
But
not be?
that's a thing for local law enforcement. That is not a thing for the United States government. The United States government is not supposed to
How can
investigate
no,
private
that's
citizens.
not that's not true. If he's receiving money illegally from something going on in the Ukraine, you're talking federal crimes. That is not a local issue. That's a federal crime.
But do we have facts that say that he got that, or that just them people in his laptop? Do
No,
we
you
actually
don't.
have?
That's a good point. No, you don't. That's why I'm saying, should we not do an investigation to get to the bottom of it, or should we just
And
sweep it
if
under the rug and move on?
no, and if he is, send him to jail. If he broke the law, send him to jail.
And
If Joe Biden break if Joe
there's only
Biden
one
breaks the
way to
law,
know. But there's only one way to know if he broke the law, and whether to send him in jail or not. You have to do an investigation.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Investigate him. If you find where he's done something wrong, send him to jail. But Donald Trump got confidential papers. He's out here grifting folks. He's doing the tax evasion stuff. There's more than enough stuff that had been picked him up. But it's
Well, but
that
Trump
privilege.
is being, yeah, but Trump is being investigated. We're not even arguing whether Trump should be investigated. He's been investigated in New York. He's been investigated in
But
Georgia.
have you
The
been
DOJ
arrested?
is on him for the documents. He got a January. So he got four investigations, and that's not even including the woman that just said he raped her that they're going to be dealing with. So he has all sorts of things orbiting around him. I'm just saying, in regards to Biden, should we at least find out, based on the arguments that there's something on a laptop and that he was receiving money from the Ukraine Burisma for stuff he didn't have anything to do with his father's blessing? Should we at least find out if there's any validity into that?
It should, but their laptop is contaminated because evidence is supposed to have a chain of command. Anytime 20 people have had their laptop, it's been compromised. What Matt Gates said he had it. Other people say they've had their laptop. If they didn't pick it up, put it in a sealed evidence bag, bring it to a forensic lab, and do the breakdown, you could add or you could have taken out anything you wanted from that hard drive. You could take a computer and make a person look guilty.
I
You
agree with
know.
the chain of command. I agree with your chain of command argument, but at the end of the day, that's all I'm saying is we need to do an investigation. But Herbert, I do got to move it on. I think
Let me
we're
ask you a
kind of
question
in
before you
agreement.
go.
Huh?
Let me ask you a question before you go.
Go.
Okay, the devil walks in a bar. He see Donald Trump, Nick Fuentes, he see Kanye West, and he see the other guy sitting at the table. You know what he say?
What?
I wanted behind at the post office. My job been taken away from me.
Wait. I did not get that. He says what?
Okay, the devil walks into a
I
bar,
got
into a
all of
restaurant.
that. I got all of that. But
Uh-huh.
what was the end
He said
statement?
he say, I wonder if they're hiring at the post office because my job been taken away from me.
Okay. All right. I think I get it now. It took me a minute, but I got to move it
Yeah,
on, man.
you be good and happy late Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Catch you on the next one. Looking in comments real quick. Donald Trump scheduled an appointment with Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is giving out brains. Okay, Delta, I hear you. Anything added can be traced. Sometimes depends on who is doing it. Let's go with what the hell just happened here. I don't know if it's, the TikTok is moving things around. Who the hell did it just bring up here? The right libertarian guy. Good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing today?
It's going good. It's going good. We're talking about 45 and 46, Trump and Biden. And we're talking about, in regards to minorities, African Americans in particular, which one of these commander in chiefs is more intolerant? Which one would be better for the particular group of people we're stating? In other words, if Trump was president, things would be better for blacks, or Biden is president. So who do you think would be more favorable to minorities, blacks and particularly blacks?
Honestly, I think Trump.
Elaborate.
I don't think the Democrats, and I'm not talking about like the voters. I'm talking about like politicians. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they actually really care. And my whole thing goes back to an old analogy that my father taught me when I was young: is you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for life. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. And the way that the democratic policies that are pushed, they want to give give the fish to the people. As to where I feel like, and I can't speak for all Republicans because there's some that haven't done anything in the past 40 years, but uh, some of them want to teach you how to fish, give you the resources to fish, and allow you to fish.
Well, let's go with the analogy, because I mean I hear this often. Democrats give out free shit, and that's why. $15 minimum wage. Do you see that as a good thing or bad thing? Because it's obvious which party favors that and which one does not. Do you see any benefit for minorities and people at the bottom of the socioeconomic scale for having minimum wage raised 10 bucks an hour, 15 bucks an hour, whatever the case may be? Do you see any benefit for minorities if they raise the minimum wage?
On the face value, I can see why people would think that, but you put it up to 15, which in some areas it already is, just by company standards, obviously not federal law, but just kind of a trend. But you put it up to 15, it just becomes the new $8 an hour. Like here in Florida, a lot of places are paying 15 starting out, for stuff like burger flipping and stuff like that. And just in the past couple of years, I've seen, the price of rent go up to where you used to, at least in my area, I don't know if you know where the Daytona area is. I'm not going to say my specific town, but
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, I'm over in that area, not Daytona, but town close to it. And
Okay.
you used to be able to, for $600 a month, you used to be able to get a studio. Now you're looking at around 900.
Yeah, but
Since they
let me ask
started
you this
paying
though.
15 an hour.
Yeah, but so I guess I got a couple questions I would ask you. First of all, if you're suggesting that raising the minimum wage will lead to the price of goods and services going up, as you said, 15 bucks an hour will just become the new $8 an hour. Are you suggesting that, well, we should just never raise the minimum wage because things are going to go up anyway?
I'm personally not a fan of there being a minimum wage. I think the marketplace should handle that. I don't really think that's the place of the federal government.
So, how do you feel about the fact that minimum wage, with the exception of this $15 an hour push that you've been hearing over the last few years, for the last 20 years or so, minimum wage has not really raised at all. I mean, in most states throughout this country, and I would invite folks in the comments, type in what the minimum wage is in your state and the two-letter abbreviation for your state. Because the point I'm trying to make is minimum wage really has not raised much in the last 20 years, yet the price of goods and services has been going up anyway. So how do you respond to that?
My whole thing, especially with me being more of a free market guy, being a libertarian, I think you're not forced to take a job. Me, I've never worked a job at minimum wage because I won't accept that.
Yeah, but you're
And
not.
if
But that doesn't answer the question I'm asking. I'm asking if you're saying raising the minimum wage is tied to increasing goods and services. I'm trying to get you to explain how are workers supposed to deal with the fact that minimum wage has not really went up for 20 plus years and goods and services has still continued to raise substantially.
Yeah, so I think that's more to do with the marketplace. More people are willing to pay that, uh, which even being free market, I have a problem with mass consumerism, uh, because and a lot of people, even if they don't, let's say agree with, a company's, views and policies and stuff like that, they're still like, take PlayStation for example. They just raise prices on a bunch of their consoles.
Okay.
They're not going to move over to Xbox though. They're going to continue to pay more and more and more for that PlayStation, because I would say lack of principle.
So, but based on what you're explaining and the way you're essentially you're admitting basically that it doesn't matter if the minimum wage comes or not. They're going to still keep raising stuff anyway. Thank you, Cornstar. Appreciate that hot dog. You're basically suggesting it's going to raise no matter what because, like you said, it's due to consumerism.
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that if you will pay that extra money, of course they're going to try and get as much money as they can for their products. But at the same time, and I'm talking in that sense with big corporations, Walmart, Target, I would say Kmart, but they're not around anymore. Those type of companies, Apple, they're going to continue to raise those prices as long as you'll still pay for them. But
I mean,
most
I can't think.
companies
Yeah, but
in
you're
the
talking. Yeah, but you're talking electronics. I can't think of anything that really has not went up over the last 20 years. I'm talking about price of fuel. I'm talking about the price of auto parts since I'm sitting in the vehicle. The price of food. Everything has went up. Even the price of the when you talk about burger flipping jobs, even the price of the stuff that they're serving you has went up, even though their wages have not. So the point I'm making is the argument that you shouldn't raise minimum wage because goods and services are going to go up. It doesn't seem to hold weight when the goods and services are going up anyway.
well over I can't speak to every state, but over here in Florida, uh, starting out at McDonald's and Burger King and stuff like that is around $14-15 an hour now, and that's
Yeah, but that's
starting out.
optional. But that's optional. That's because of COVID, the pandemic. People were not going to work, getting stimulus checks. If you go right back before the pandemic, when they were not giving out stimulus checks, people were working for those ridiculous wages. The inflated wages right now are pandemic related.
Yeah, but those people weren't forced to work for that, and that's why I'm saying I think the marketplace should handle it rather than federal government.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You do understand there's a reason why the minimum wage was created in the first place, right? That
Yeah,
we had the free market from the days of the founding fathers. All of these laws you hear people talking about, federal government oversight and overreaching, all of those things were created because we started out with the free market and people were abusing all of that stuff. These things didn't come up out of nowhere. They came up because we tried the free market first.
yeah, and I'd say it was actually better than having the government in every single thing that you do in life.
Yet the citizens still voted to have a minimum wage. You're saying it was better, but yet the citizens have voted for OSHA, EPA, all these protective agencies because companies are dumping stuff in the water and all of that. And you're saying it was better back then than it is now?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I got to
yeah.
move it on to hard head. Come on back. I
Yeah.
do got to move it on, though, man.
Just final words.
Sure.
Just in to sum it up, I'll take all of that over more government overreach into citizens' lives. And I did want to address one thing that Gangster was saying.
Okay, real
The
quick.
party switch. The
Yeah.
party switch didn't happen. The only person during that time to switch over was Strom Thurmond.
Okay, fair. So why has the Republican Party, if they fought the Confederates so much, why are they so much in favor of Confederate statues? Shouldn't they be supporting Yankee statues?
I think we should support all of them. I mean, I say vote on it if your state wants to get rid of your statue. I'm fine with that. But it is history, and if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Do you
Which
need a
with the
wait, wait,
Civil
do
War, I
you
don't want to
need
see
a
that repeated.
yeah, but do you need a statue to tell you history? There's no statue of Hitler in this country, yet we all know who he is. Do you need to actually erect a statue to get your history?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's just the first breadcrumb. First, you take away statues, and then over generations, you start eroding and making it less of an
Okay, but then
importance.
but now you're talking speculation. I can't go to what may happen in the future. Now you're saying we'll keep the statues because they're going to take something else. I don't know where else to go with it, but I do got to move it on, Herbert.
Yeah,
Appreciate you
I'm
coming
not
through.
saying necessarily keep the statues. I just think vote on it.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
should have
for
never been
people.
erected. They should
Yeah,
have
I'm
never
not
been
for.
erected.
Yeah, I'm not for them. But
Okay,
I'm also not for individuals. Going around and destroying statues that was paid for by the
all right,
citizens.
fair
If it's
enough.
voted on, I'm fine with it. Uh,
All right,
but
okay,
vandalism, I'm not okay with.
all right. Catch you later. Looking in the comments, and I see Team Cawthorn said the parties did switch. Yeah, in my opinion, and I understand my audience is primarily MAGA. That's who I prefer talking to. I understand that the notion is that the party switch didn't happen, but in my humble opinion, I believe the evidence that the party switch happened is fairly overwhelming just when you look at what the Democratic Party represented during the era of slavery, and you look at the viewpoint of the current Republican Party, how they're willing to go and like in Charlottesville, you really would want to go and fight for somebody who was fighting to, protect slavery. Like, if you are the party of Lincoln, the party of freedom, why would you be willing to literally go out and fight to preserve a Confederate statue? The people who were trying to literally kill members of your party. Is it history? No, it's not. Like I just stated before, there are plenty of statues in this country. I always give this example, and I'll go right back to the box. Joe Paterno, Penn State, the football coach. We know, for you guys who follow NCAA football, where Penn State, he was one of the most victorious coaches in that school's history. They erected a statue to him, and it turns out that he was involved in helping out a pedo abused children. They took his statue down. Does that erase all the successes that he had at Penn State? The fact that he was helping out pedos, did former students, alumni go to the school and say, don't take down this statue because we're preserving history? No, they let the statue come down. They found out that this was a very bad guy, and they took down the statue. That doesn't take away the games that Penn State won. Taking down a statue does not remove history. If you look at Iraq, after our invasion, there are missing statues of Saddam all over the country. His pictures were everywhere. Very similar to Kim Jong-un in North Korea. If we were to invade North Korea and take down all of the statues and pictures of Kim Jong-un, does that erase the fact that him and his father ruled that country for generations? History does not have anything to do with a statue. That is a tribute to history. It is not history itself. History cannot be erased. It can be mistaught. It can be lied about. But history happened. The fact that you and I are here today having a conversation, nothing you do for the rest of your life, even if you think what you're hearing now is the dumbest shit you've ever heard, this day happened. And there's no way you can ever take it back, which is why you often hear people say, I want to get those 5 minutes of my life back. You can't. This is history. Right now, going back to the box. Anthony, 6195. Good afternoon, Anthony.
What's going on, boss man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're making history here today, man. What's up?
Nah, you on here stirring the shit again, as usual.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah.
I'm asking the question. Is Trump or Biden better for black? Trump or Biden better for black people?
I would say that statistically, Democrats are better for America than Republicans have been. Economically, job-wise, socially. These are things that you can't argue. These are things that are statistically facts.
What about the economy? What about what the economy has done under Biden since Trump left office? Is that better for us job-wise, economic-wise?
Nobody, neither one of them men would have been able to snap their fingers and make the economy better than what we had to go through. We went through 2 years of jobs, almost 2 years of job shutdowns. We went through almost 2 years of an unstable economy. It didn't matter who was going to be president or who was president. When you have stuff that's, we can't get imports in. There were so many changes in our economy that was stopped due to COVID. It would have made no difference who was president.
Okay, real quick, I want to ask you this. And by the way, folks, tap the screen, get your boy up to 15,000 likes. I haven't asked you guys to do that. Plenty of patriots and liberals alike in here, so tap the screen. So what you're telling me, Anthony, is that if Trump was in office right now, gas prices would still be the same they are right now? He wouldn't push toward energy independence?
If you're going to be honest, and I know that you do this because you have a talk show, we both know that Trump signed an OPEC deal before he left office. This is the reason why our gas prices have fluctuated the way they have, because Trump made a deal to shut down oil production with OPEC.
Okay,
So
let's say let's go with what you're saying. Trump signed a deal that has put us in this situation. When Trump took office, he believed that Obama signed a bad deal with Iran, got us out of the Iran deal, the Paris Accord. He didn't like NAFTA from the Clinton administration. The point I'm trying to make is if you're correct in saying Trump signed a bad deal with OPEC, why didn't Biden get us out of it? Trump has proven he can get us out of deals he thinks is bad.
because you have to also think about the group alliances that those people were coming together. You had, for the first time in America, first time in America in our history, we had a president that was willing to align himself with dictators. These people had a master plan. Putin, OPEC, the Saudis, America, China. These people had backroom deals.
Whoa. So, what are you suggesting, that Trump was trying to turn us into like the Axis powers in World War II, where they were making these
Yes,
deals behind the
yes,
scenes or something?
yes. That's
Wow.
exactly what he was doing. Yes.
Mm. Well, that obviously did not go through. So you see Trump almost like a Mussolini, or you see Trump as inherently
He
bad for the planet.
he was definitely a cancer, not only to this country but to the world.
Wow. So if he is as bad as you're suggesting, why do you believe so many folks on the right see him? I got folks telling me he's the GOAT, greatest of all time, putting him up there with Tom
Because
Brady and Michael
because
Jordan.
because he made white people feel good about being white again.
You know what I mean?
Period.
I was about to
Period.
say something wrong.
Period.
I, I mean, I've had some girls make me feel good. I don't call them the GOAT. Just because
Yeah.
somebody makes you feel good, you don't.
Let me tell you something. White America has a history of cutting his nose off to spite his face, just to inflict their ideal of harm and keeping people down. Just to we have a history of cutting our nose off to spite our face to keep people down, and
Mm.
white America is responsible for that.
So how do you respond? Like in the comments, I got Boss Hog. Love the name, Dukes of Hazard sounding, but Boss
He's
Hog
a
said I
coward.
was making.
He's a
He said I
coward.
was making. Huh?
He's a coward.
How do you know he's a coward? You haven't heard his comment yet.
Yeah, no. I'm saying I know him. You know, he likes to kick people out of his lives and stuff. He's a
Okay, well, he's
coward
not.
too.
Nobody gets kicked out of here. I don't censor anyone. Let me ask you this: Boss Hog said I was making tons more money under Trump. How do you respond to constituents that make it clear that the economy under Trump was better for them, including a lot of black people? What do you
I mean
tell them?
that's a fact. That's a fact. But what you don't take into consideration is Trump got his economy from somebody that did not have a bad economy. This is always the case. Republicans always crash the economy. Democrats always save the economy, and Republicans come right back to
Yeah,
a good economy.
yeah, but
Let me finish.
if
Let me
even
finish. Let me finish. He
okay.
inherited a decent economy. He took a lot of regulations off of that good economy, and of course, that's gonna run hot. He's gonna have a good economy, but as soon as a problem occurred, he crashed the car. There was no way that he was going to keep the economy that he inherited, that he actually made better because he took away regulations, which we can't live without regulations. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. He took regulations away. So therefore, companies are going to profit.
So you
So
don't
therefore,
get
people
so
are
you
going to
don't
see
get
more money.
Trump. You don't give Trump any economic credit. You're blaming it all on
Yeah,
Biden.
I
In other
do.
words, Trump.
No,
Okay.
no. I give him credit. I give him credit for crashing the economy when we needed a good president.
So he didn't do anything good economically, is what you're saying.
I mean, he gave people more money by getting rid of regulations. He did that.
All right. All right, fair enough. But if that's what they wanted, then he did what they wanted. Then, right? There are
But
plenty of people.
as but as a president and the leader of a country, It's not all won't. Sometimes you have to be the smarter person. Sometimes
Who
you
did?
have to be the smarter person. That's why we elected you as president, and you have to make the hard decisions.
Okay, fair. I just want to say, damn, somebody sent whoever sent that galaxy. I didn't get a chance to thank you. I just saw that shit and it even fucked
Yeah,
up the
that was
sound. I
huge.
appreciate that. Yeah, that was huge. That was huge. All right, so I get your point. You're saying that for the most part, Trump inherited a good economy. He made changes, removing regulations and things that are overall bad for America, but folks temporarily benefited from it.
Yeah, definitely. You're gonna benefit when someone takes away regulations. But when you have regulations as a government, that they are saving people. You only
Okay.
have regulations for saving people.
So are you suggesting that right-wing voters that support Trump based on his economic concerns are dumb? They don't know how to tell what's going on with the economy? And that was
No, I'm,
Hydro Bush. Appreciate that. So is that what you're saying,
what I'm
Coach? Go ahead.
saying, what I'm saying about right wing Trump supporters, if in 2022, if you're still a conservative or a right wing supporter, you only fit into three categories. I done told you this before. You're either rich, you're racist, or you're uneducated.
Damn.
Ain't but three categories.
All right. All right, Anthony, I got to move it on. Strong language, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Oh, and by the way, y'all
Quickly.
will never, y'all will never see that laptop. You will never see the laptop.
I hear
Get the
you
fuck
on
over
that.
it. Have a good one, man.
You too. Oh, that's fucked up. It just reminds me. Listen, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I've seen folks taken out in handcuffs, and you ain't gonna ever find that gun. That weed y'all looking for, you ain't gonna ever find that while blowing smoke rings or some shit. That was funny. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, that shit was funny. Y'all ain't gonna ever find that laptop. All right, let me go back to the box. He got me cracking the fuck up. All right, let's do it. Is this what? Okay, what? All right, TikTok is doing it. That is funny. Who popped up on here? Cleve Dog. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. We're trying to find out which president would be more favorable to minorities, particularly African Americans in general, whether Trump or Biden. Which one would folks that look like me be better off voting for when it comes to their own self-interest, their economic concerns, and things of that nature?
Trump.
Give me some
Trump was
reasons
better.
why.
All right, he reduced regulations. That's one thing. When regulations are reduced and people can have more money in their pocket, that means he's going to stimulate the economy naturally.
Give me some regulations that you think that were removed that were beneficial to folks at the bottom, minorities, blacks in general.
All right, when he cut taxes, right? When he cut taxes, it allowed more businesses to invest in their business and do more hiring. When you hire more people, and you hire more people at a competitive wage, that brings more people into your business. That means your business is making more money to have more people there, and they have more products coming in, and they can also invest into research and development. So
Let
that was
me
great.
I hear that often. I want to respond. And by the way, folks, tap the screen. 20,000 likes if possible. All these patriots in here, liberals alike, tap the screen. The issue I have with tax cuts leads to more job creations is all businesses are not going to use a tax cut to create jobs. I mean, you may have a law firm where you got you and a few other attorneys, a secretary, and maybe a few runners, and you guys are happy. If they give you a tax cut, you're just going to go out and buy a yacht or something with it. I don't know why we automatically assume that every business owner that receives a tax cut is going to want to expand and create jobs. Some of them might use that to buy a robot
Not all
or to
businesses,
buy an automated
but but
machine.
but you're talking about one part of the country. You're talking about lawyers. Let's talk about people that build cars, let's talk about people that make stuff here in
Okay.
America. Let's talk about all these people in the middle class, which is the biggest class at all because they created the middle class. When the middle class have money and you elevate them people to have more money, that way they can send their kids to school. They have more money in their pocket. They can go and buy a bigger home or do some renovations to their house. You can't do that when you're paying more in taxes, right?
Let me give you a perfect example. All of us go to the grocery store and shop, whether you're going to Walmart, Target, Ralph's, whatever grocery store you go to. We've all noticed that in grocery stores, there is a lack of tellers now. Most places you go, you have to scan your own damn groceries, and you certainly have to bag it yourself. So the point I'm making is that even if you give supermarkets a pay cut or a tax cut, rather, they're not going to go back to hiring tellers. They see a way to do it automated. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you is
Yeah,
that even if
yeah.
you get somebody a tax cut, they
Okay,
may still use that money to buy a robot or buy a
but
machine because they
but
don't want to
but
create jobs if they
but
don't have to.
but handsome liberal. This is not a problem. Here's the thing: you got to have people to fix those tellers, right? And then on top of that, now they have staff. They have staff tellers now because we're in the Christmas season. People are spending a little bit of money, but not like it was 2-3 years ago under Trump. So now what you have is more. Once that happens, they got to have more people, right? Those people come in at a certain wage.
That's going away, but that goes away. Yeah, but that goes away the minute that is seasonal employment. That is going to be all gone by the middle of January.
Not really, because
You
it in January, February is what when people get their tax returns. And what happens when people do
yeah,
that?
they don't shop like they do at Christmas time. You're not going to hire that
No,
many people back.
no. Depending on where you at, whether you're in the north or whether you're in the south, you have things like people go out and buy cars when they get their tax return,
Yeah, but
right?
even that is seasonal though. How long is tax season? Between February to April or something like that. So by
Something like
June,
that.
they all have no job.
Even if it's seasonal, you still have a job, and you might have a chance to go on to be full time with those companies or businesses.
If you hire seasonal workers, they're not most of them are not going to have a chance to go on full time. That's what seasonal is about. You swelling up to meet a demand. Once the demand goes away, you're not, all of these people are not staying. Yeah, you can if you want to be fighting with the other folks, hoping they keep you on, that might happen. But at the end of the day, the overwhelming majority of seasonal workers get let go.
Okay, but still, if you pay more in taxes, look at the things like you're talking about one aspect. Let's look at inflation that's hurting people right now. When you go to that
Right.
store and that can of beans used to be $1, now it's $2.25, or that bag of rice now is from jumped from $2, now it's $4. Like a loaf of bread is now almost $4.50 in some places. How
So
did that
so
happen? Because inflation is what more money into the market. Well, we got to get that money out to reduce prices. What you do is you have to burn it. Same thing like Ronald Reagan did. You got to get rid of that money.
So let me
It's
ask you
hurting
this.
people.
Jasmine572 in the comments wanted me to pass this on to you. Where does inflation come from? Give me your opinion on how inflation starts to begin with.
Inflation, the economic definition is of inflation is too much money circulating into the economy. When you artificially inflate things, that's what happens when you start spending. The government is spending more and more and more. If you want to stop this inflation, you got to stop government spending.
So if you stop government spending, do you think Trump or Biden would be better in regards to picking the programs that we stop spending on? Because
Trump.
we can talk about, hang on a second, I get your point, but we can be talking about spending money on, helping out the homeless or spending money on something that benefits the wealthy. You think Trump would make better decisions
Yeah,
in regard?
like that,
Okay.
just like that hat that you have in the back behind you says "Make America Great Again." How do you do that? Instead of sending all that money over to Ukraine, That money could be helping people here in the United States.
Well, turn your
But
background. Your music is loud. You got a loud background,
yeah,
bro.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So so in other words, in regards to making America great, I don't. Well, first of all, because somebody's going to ask this in the comments because it always comes up. In your opinion, for African Americans, when was America great? So if you say make America great again, what point in America's past are you suggesting we should go back to that was better than it is now? Because it's going to come up. It
America's
always
always
does.
America has always been great. If you ask me, it's
For
just that
African
people
Americans.
for everybody, for everybody.
So you believe when you say always, so you're talking even during the period of slavery, America was great for African Americans?
Well, yes, at a certain point, yes, because you forget black people own slaves as well. You
What
forget
about
that.
the ones who were slaves?
What about the people that own slaves, like black people,
Okay.
indentured servants?
Okay, I'm asking, but that's the question I'm asking. You're saying for African Americans during slavery, America was great for them.
America has always been great, even though
Jim,
people all over the world have endured some type of
yeah, but we're
slavery,
talking about
and some
America.
people,
We're talking, yeah, but let's keep it to America. We don't want to start throwing in
okay,
it. Yeah, in America.
because see, you say that because how did black people get from Africa to the United States? It wasn't like the people from Spain and other places went there, because the survival rate, if you were outsider coming into Africa, and it's proven and it was studied and it presented that if you were an outsider going into Africa, you had a lifespan of anywhere from 6 to 12 months. That's it. But so they had that's when tribalism come in. When bigger tribes took over smaller tribes, and they sold people into slavery, from the Spaniards to Portuguese
Okay,
to the English. Oh yeah, to the English. They all brought
here's what
slaves
I
all.
don't. Yeah, but you're still bringing in world affairs. Let's go to the Jim Crow era when Martin Luther King is fighting against all these states for rights for black people. You think during that era when he was doing all that,
you
America was great for
but
blacks?
but see, here's the thing that you don't know about. In South Carolina, if you go down to a place called I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Gullah Geechee territory. They didn't have Jim Crow, because the land they have is theirs, right? And
Okay.
it's documented that that I Have a Dream speech that Martin Luther King penned was created and first written there in Gullah Geechee
Okay.
land.
I don't. Okay, let me rephrase the question. For black people in America, not just one area you're talking about, Gillikichio. I'm talking about for black people
Gullah
in
Geechee,
America in general.
the
Was
Gullah
America
Geechees.
great? Okay, as opposed to that one little place in America you're talking about. For the rest of the country, was it great for black people during that period of time?
Well, I would say yes and no. It was better
Explain.
for us because we had, even though we might have been oppressed, we still had the thing called family. Now, since desegregation come around, families are spread, because your family came from Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. Mississippi,
Mississippi and
Alabama,
Tennessee. Mississippi and Tennessee,
Mississippi and
yes.
Tennessee. Okay. Do you still have family in those states?
Yes.
All right. Do you visit that family
No.
members in that state?
In Tennessee, but not in Mississippi, but in Tennessee, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So even though we're spread out, even though the family unit is gone, you still keep up with the family, some of them. But when we
But
had segregation,
that's
when we had
yeah,
segregation, when we had segregation, we were more together. We knew, because next door was our cousins, down the street was our other cousins, and we all stayed together as a family until they desegregated us,
and that
and they
makes it
destroyed.
great.
We still great. America's still great, no matter
Well,
how. Because if you look at other countries, this is the
but you
other
keep throwing in, yeah, but you keep throwing in other countries. We're talking about America. We're not talking about other
America
countries.
has always been great, because if you go live in the Middle East, your wife,
Yeah.
if you were married, will have to sit behind you.
Yeah, but if you go live in Western Europe, you could marry the lover of your choice. You could marry a white
You
woman
can
long
marry.
before you could here. Long
Okay,
before you could here.
okay. And my grandfather talked about that when he came when
Okay.
he went to
Let
World
me
War II.
let me just say this. Based on what when I asked you, was America great for African Americans during the Jim Crow
America's
era and things like that,
um,
you
Amer-
brought up wait, on, let me respond to you. When I asked you, was America great, you brought up, well, yes, it was because of family. Based on your answer, I could take your entire family and put them into a concentration camp. And because you guys are all together, you would
you
find that
you
great.
you won't. You
Yeah, but
won't.
that's what you said.
But
That is what
segregation,
you said.
the family unit and segregation, right, made people together. When you desegregated the people and brought the people all into one, what happened? The family unit was destroyed,
What about
right?
the fact you could? What about the fact you couldn't vote? Was that great?
Hmm. I don't
You
know
don't
if
have an
that's a
answer
good
for
thing or a
that.
bad thing.
What
People
about the
die for us.
fact that? Okay, what about the fact that during the Jim Crow era you could not vote? Was that great? That's a yes or a no
You mean
question.
our family members couldn't vote? Yeah.
I mean, people that look like you could not vote. Was that a great thing?
No, I think not. But we have the right to vote today. But you point back, you look back and say, okay, back then was bad, but now it's good. I can do this. I don't have to go to a different water fountain. Don't have to go to a different bathroom. I don't have to go to the water fountain out back. I don't have to do this and do that. Now, why are we always focusing on the past? We should learn from past. That's why it's history. We should learn from it and grow to be better from it, not
Okay,
to linger on it. Because if that was the case, Joe Biden shouldn't be president because he was one of the most racist dang on
Okay,
senators out there.
let me respond to your comment about why do we keep lingering on the past. And I appreciate that DJ, that fireworks you said. But you asked why do we keep lingering on the past and why don't we move forward? The whole conversation started because the hat says "Make America Great Again." The hat refers to the past. That's why
The
we're
hat does
talking about.
the
Hold
hat
on,
what that
let me. The hat
go
says
ahead.
again. The word again means it is a reference to something that happened in the past, which is why I asked you, what point in the past do you want to go back to that you favor? And you started talking about living in Greece and other countries. I'm talking about here.
No, I'm talking about here. Now you don't have to live. If a woman wanted to go outside in a miniskirt and a G-string top, she has the right to do that. She
Mm-hmm.
don't have that right in the Middle East, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, that's what I'm comparing it to. And then
Okay.
you talk about now. Let's talk about "Make America Great Again." Clinton had that same slogan in his campaign, but nobody makes it anything until Trump says something. Now,
Well,
all the
you got
time
to.
that before Trump was president, nobody ever talked about him. Everybody, every rapper you know about, just about, and even some boxers like Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather say that this man right here has done more for me and more for people that I know. That listen now, and all that was before he became president. And all of a sudden now he's a racist. He's a bigot. He's a homophobe. All that. Now that's what they say about Trump, but they didn't say nothing when he gave the loan to Jesse Jackson when he ran for president. Now you want to talk about the past? That is the past. But he did
Okay.
help people out that
No,
look like you and me.
yeah, in regards to why they didn't say things about Trump before he became president as opposed to now, I would point out that Trump has a lot of NDAs out there. People were saying things about Trump. He was silencing them. I would also point out the fact that he lost lawsuits that were racially charged. People were saying things, they just didn't have the microphone. All of a sudden, he runs for office, and the media that does not like Trump is giving people a microphone so that their voices can be heard. But they were saying so. No women that accused Trump of sexual assault, they had been doing that before he became president. Those workers that said he
Oh,
didn't
okay,
pay, hang on, let me finish. The workers that said Trump never paid them, they were doing that before he became president. They didn't
okay,
have a microphone. Once he
okay.
became president and CNN and MSNBC is now giving him a way to talk, you're hearing them now. But go ahead.
Okay. So same thing could be said about when the women came out against Herman Cain. Nobody. The same
Okay.
thing could be. Same thing was said about Jesse Jackson and others. All this was brought out when they ran for office.
True. Like Hillary
Why?
Clinton
Why is
drinking,
that? Why is that?
like the idea that Hillary Clinton was drinking the blood of infants. You didn't hear that before she ran for office, or Barack Obama being born in Kenya. You didn't hear that before they ran for office.
But Barack Obama is a different thing. But let me tell you. let me tell you about. Let me tell you what's funny about this is,
I'm
you
gonna give
know,
you the last word. I
Hillary.
do got to move it on. I'll give you the last
Yeah,
word. Go.
Hillary Clinton said if you drag that's how many people you'll see to come out and say something when you drag a $20 bill through a trailer park. and then you have Michelle Obama who said, how can Hillary Clinton run a White House when she can't even run her own house? Think about that.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Catch you later. Looking in the comments, I'm leaving. I can't take this, says Jay. Listen, I got a guest that is passionate. I always make it clear whether I agree with the guest or not. I don't ban, block, or censor anyone for their opinions. I let the man talk. I make it clear this is a MAGA friendly program. Just because I'm a liberal don't mean I'm gonna shut them up. The whole purpose of the hat, because I get called a sellout, Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus on every damn broadcast. Purpose of the hat is to let folks that are on the right side of the aisle know this is a MAGA-friendly program. I don't believe MAGA gets a fair shake in the media. I don't believe they get a chance to state their points. Like my last caller, 99% of the media outlets would have turned him off. I don't do that here. So if you want a program that leans left, defends left, and silences right, there's a hell of a lot of places on social media you can go to. And the same thing for folks on the left. You know, there are places favorable to both sides of the aisle. Yours truly, I believe in letting both sides speak. I don't know if that's a crime. I don't know if that's wrong or immoral, but I do believe in letting both sides speak. And I will always defend free speech on these programs. Going back to the box, it is Vass 37. Good afternoon. That's a friend of the program. Welcome back. Vass, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sure you were listening in on my previous call.
Yeah, I heard him.
We're talking about which commander-in-chief is likely to be better, more favorable to minorities, particularly black people. Trump or Biden? Who do you think would be the best president for folks like us?
For folks like us,
Folks like us.
man.
Take your time. Take your time.
I gotta say, in all fairness, man, it might be. I'll go Biden. I'm gonna rethink it. I'm almost leaning over with Trump because Trump's gonna be like he's gonna be more hands off. But the problem is I don't trust the state. So
What do you mean by hands off?
because he's really as far as like letting the states run their house. That's his whole thing. At least that's what he pitches anyway, and that's what he really
So
wants.
you're saying, okay, I think I get it now. So you're saying that Trump would be more in favor of states' rights, which is where Republicans typically want. But
Right?
you're saying that the states were left up to their own devices. You don't trust that they would be
No,
they would do what's in our best interest.
no, I don't. No, I don't. They're going to do what's in their pockets' interests. Because
Okay.
what they're going to do is they're going to get the grants from the government, and they're going to do what they want to do with the money, which is what they do anyway. But
Yeah, you would
under
expect that.
Trump, it's going to be like, all right, here you go, do y'all, you know what I'm saying? Here you go, do y'all's thing, you know what I'm saying? Probably not see nothing, maybe see a little bit, you know what I mean? And so I would.
So what?
It,
You were hesitant on answering the question of between Trump and Biden. What? Give me some of the bad points that you don't necessarily favor from Biden.
the fact that he is of the old cloth, you know what I mean? And so it's gonna be a lot of regulations, and it's gonna be all this red tape, and it's gonna be file this, go here, go there, call this number. When you call this number, then you need to go over here and do this. You know, see what I'm saying?
So ultimately you want younger blood in Washington. You believe for minorities, our best hope is with younger blood.
Yes, yes. Now
Give
that
me
now
an
that
example. Give me a candidate. And by the way, folks, we got a K up there, over 1,000 people. Tap
I,
the damn screen. Get your boy up to 30,000. My question to you, though, give me a candidate that you believe would be better for leading the Democratic Party forward in 24.
my man from here that was challenging Rand Paul, Booker.
Cory Booker? Now, wait a
No,
minute. You
that's
said from here. Kentucky?
yeah.
Who the hell is that? I don't even know who that
Uh
is.
what's his name? Is it Charlie? Not Corey from New Jersey, not him.
Okay, yeah. You're
He
talking. I
he
can't speak
challenged
on it.
Rand Paul. He was challenging for Rand Paul's seat. He
Okay.
put up a good fight, and it was good, but he lost. He lost I think a couple years ago too. He's fighting though. He's trying to get in there. He ran
Give
for
me
the
some
Senate.
issues. Give me some issues that you see that younger guy, because he's national on the national scale. We don't know as much about him, but give me some issues you think he is promoting that would be beneficial, say, to minorities that you're not seeing from Biden, from the
Oh,
candidate you're talking about in Kentucky.
neighbor, just being in it. What I see from him being in like the going into the neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
you don't expect a 70-year-old president to go walking
of
around in the
course
hood,
not.
do you?
That's the problem. That's the problem, though. Of course, I don't expect the 70-year-old. But
Yeah,
that's
but
the
did you see that?
problem.
Was Obama or Clinton walking around in the hood?
No, that's the problem.
So in other words, yeah, but Obama was younger. So in other words, you're suggesting that even if the person is younger, they're not going to do that either, though. So you mentioned
Well,
Biden because you wanted
it's
younger blood.
the younger. I'm talking about younger blood and a different type of mentality. You got a cigarette before you go?
They're in the car. Follow me. Y'all can get away.
Oh, you just.
You got business? We can talk. We
No,
can talk
no, no,
later,
no, no,
man.
no, no, no. I'm just getting a cigarette. She trying to be smart.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, so in other words, what is this other than walking around in the hood, which is not legislation?
No, no,
What
not
is that?
walking in the hood, but just dealing. He be like hands on in the community though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what is he proposing that you think Biden wouldn't propose? What kind of laws? What kind of bills?
Hold on.
Okay.
What kind of bills did I think Biden? What now?
What is he proposing that Biden is not? You're saying Biden is not the best to lead us forward, but a younger guy like the candidate in Kentucky is. What is he suggesting that he would do for Democrats that Biden is not doing? What's making him more favorable to you other than him walking through neighborhoods talking to people?
Oh, as far as the black community, yeah, the sentencing, unfair sentencing, and uh more loan like for loans coming into the black communities. He wants to promote more for that. Us getting more, not paying as much on the interest, stuff like that.
Yeah, but how do you deal with folks who are victims of crime? And there's a hell of a lot of black victims of crime that do not favor lighter sentences. You're letting people out there because most
Oh,
black folks
nonviolent, nonviolent offenders, nonviolent offenders,
okay. Oh, okay.
nonviolent. My fault, nonviolent offenders.
All right, and the same thing you mentioned with lower interest. How would you view black business owners who have given out loans are expecting that interest to make their business profitable. And by you cutting interest, you're cutting those businesses that gave out those loans.
I don't see how that will. I don't. No, because if I'm talking about if you get like loans from the bank
Yeah.
and then you want to open a business and you got to pay that back
Yeah,
with
but you
lower
can't
interest.
yeah, but you can't force a bank to charge
No,
lower interest to black people. That's racist.
well you can't. No, you can't. You can't. Well, I don't know if it's racist. It's just like how they got different programs so that you can you're a first time starting your business or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you want to try to do something uh, in the community. Not saying like you just want to open a business, but open a business in a community. You know what I'm saying? Trying to help out the community, bring the
Yeah, but what if I'm a white person and I'm also wanting to open up a business to help my community and it's my first time business? Should I not get access to the same stuff?
yeah, you should.
Okay. All right. All right. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
but
trying to
I'm
find
just
out.
saying he's trying to promote that in for black. He's promoting it amongst the black people. Like, hey, y'all, think of some ideas. You know, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. He's promoting
All
that
right.
idea.
All right, I do got to move it on, but the last question before I let you go, because I want you to respond, is Davis in the comments asked, "Can't we ever just get past racism and just be Americans?" How do you respond to folks in modern times saying we need to just stop talking about race and just move on? How do you respond to that?
Quit reminding us that you're racist. If I
Excellent.
don't, if I can, if I don't think that you're racist, and I can look at you and see something other than racism, statues, Confederate flags, uh, empathy, not non empathy, the non empathy. I will say that we can see from that side. Then yeah, we can look past it. But as long as I can see those things, then I'm going to be reminded that it's not so much as about me as it is the color of my skin. I'm gonna tell you. Can I say this real quick?
You got it.
There was me and three of my partners Sunday, and one of them he said, "Man," he said, "I don't know why." He said, it's not like I have anything. We got nothing against the white man or white people." He said, "But it just feels like the more I put my arm around you, and you put your arm around me, but you waiting with your hand in the hand with the knife, waiting to hit me in the back."
Why is he seeing that though?
He
Why
said
why are you
because
why are you
because
seeing white people?
because
Huh?
okay, we'll go. Well, what was you gonna say?
Okay. Why are you seeing that other individual as having a knife ready to stab you in the back? What are they doing to make you think that?
Because it's always if I build something, you take it. You know what I'm saying? If I find a way to get some money, you take it. Anything it's just historically, okay, so
Well,
we
I don't see nobody taking Oprah's money. Tyler Perry's doing all
no,
right. Jay-Z and
no,
Beyonce. I don't know about that. There's a lot of
no.
wealthy black people that are not having their
We got
money taken. Where are you
we
getting that
should
from?
but technically we should have had more. Should have been way more.
Well, we,
Should have
we get
should
that, but yeah, but that's historic. I'm talking about right
that's
now. If you're an
but
African
it's
American, who's taking your money now in today's time?
and that's the problem though. How do you want me to take my knowledge and then look and say, oh, okay, that's not going to happen no more. Tulsa, that'll never happen again.
Well,
If
yeah,
black,
but
you know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what
You're
you're
asking
saying.
me you're just asking me to be like, oh, everything's good now. I don't know that everything's good. I really don't. I don't know for a fact that right now, if let's say Atlanta, right? Because we know that's Chocolate City, or even Charlotte right now. North Carolina's they call Chocolate City.
You wouldn't. Can you hear me, Vaz? You dropped out. Okay, maybe he had a call or something. I got to move it on anyway. But I was going to ask him. He makes some interesting points, but it sounds more like is making his judgments based on fear of what happened in the past as opposed to right now. As he said, I don't know if I can trust you, but it's not based on what's happening. It's based on what happened. And he's not the only one that has that mindset, which is why I wanted to ask him. In the comments, real quick, Juice83873 said I should start a podcast. I'd love to. I don't know the particulars in how to do that. Not very tech savvy. It's been a long time since I first got my electronics degree. That was my first college degree back in the early 90s. In regards to racism, Great 10815 suggested that we can get past racism simply by not talking about it. Comment being, yes, we can stop talking about it. I wanted to elaborate on that before I go back to the box. I vehemently disagree. I believe there's a meme floating around on social media. I think it's either Morgan Freeman or Denzel Washington being asked, how can we get past racism? And the response is to stop talking about it. I disagree 100%. And the reason why is no atrocity in world history disappeared because folks went silent about it. In fact, whether you're committing acts of racism, whether you're involved in stuff like 1930s Germany, you're abusing children like the Catholic Church, or whatever you're doing, the friend of you being able to continue doing it is silence. That's exactly what you want. As Martin Luther King once said, all it takes for evil to thrive is for good men to do nothing. So if you're involved in some nefarious activity, you want people to stop talking about it, which is why some of the most violent, criminalistic people in our society operate on a hush-hush basis. Snitches get stitches. Don't talk to police. Because that's how things are allowed to continue. When people start talking about what you're doing, your days are numbered. I don't care if you're dealing drugs on the block, you're abusing children, or you're committing atrocities like in 1930s Germany. The minute people start talking about it, more folks are going to know, and you have problems on your hands. You don't think right now what's going on in China, what's going on in Iran, you don't think that those governments are trying to quickly silence those people? Because they're talking about it, and it's making it get bigger and worse. You're not going to stop it by going silent. I mean, just look at every single form of oppression throughout American history. How many of them were actually squelched by people going silent and not talking about it? You think if Martin Luther King had to stop talking about racism, it would have went away? I don't understand why anybody, including Morgan Freeman, would ever believe that things would go away if you stop talking about it. Now, I do admit there are people who yell out racism when there's no racism there. I do believe there are some people who are looking for racial issues when there's nothing to find, which is why I asked my last caller, why do you think people want to stab you in the back? You know, because maybe you're looking for something, expecting something that is actually not there. So I do agree with that. But I absolutely vehemently disagree with the notion that if something is going wrong, if someone is mistreating you, it will end if you stop talking about it. Tell that to somebody who's being abused. Domestic violence, sexual violence from a relative or something. If you stop talking about it, he'll stop. You believe that? Going back to the box. DJ Magic Stick. Appreciate the gift there earlier, Magic Stick, and your generosity if it allows you to come through. Appreciate that earlier, but good afternoon.
What's up, buddy?
Not much at
How's it
all.
going?
I'm doing good. I was asking about the two commander-in-chiefs, number 45 and 46 that we have now. For folks who are minorities, particularly African Americans in general, who do you believe would be better for our success, our progress as well? And you don't have to be black to answer the question, which is what I told most people. But what is your opinion on that?
It'll be
Did I
Biden.
lose you? Biden.
It'll be
Why do you say
Biden.
Biden? Why do you say Biden?
Yeah, it'll be Biden because it
You're
can't
kind
be
of
Trump. It'll never be Trump.
okay. Why do you not favor
Hello?
Trump? What is it about Trump that you don't favor?
The first thing when he said when Obama was in office is that he's not American, he's from Kenyan.
Yeah.
After that, that just proves that when Trump looks at my black friends, he don't consider them as American at all. When he looks at my black friends, he does not consider them as American. It's like when
Wow.
he brings people on stage, when he brings white people on stage, I'm a white guy. When he brings white people on stage, he'll say, "This is a great American." But when he brings a black friend or black guy on stage, he doesn't say that to them. Because in his
So
mind, when he looks at a black person or a minority, he don't see them as real Americans. He doesn't.
so you actually
Even though you
would it
can
be
bring out verse and all that, he will not. Huh?
would it be safe
Go
to
ahead.
say that you believe Trump is a white supremacist?
Yeah. I mean, how else would you say it? Because I mean, come on. He said that about a black president, knowing that he's from Hawaii. I mean, come on. That's when he looks at minorities, he does not look at them as Americans. If you're not white skinned, you're not American. And that's his in his mind. And
Wow.
you can watch him anytime you watch him come on stage. When he brings out a black guy or a minority on stage, he won't say, "Oh, this person's a great American." He won't say that. He only says that when he brings out a white person on stage. And I
You know
caught
what?
that a long
I,
time ago. I started catching that.
that's interesting you said it because I've never
But
even thought. Now
that's
you
how
got
I
me
caught
wanting
that.
to. You've actually given me some homework. I'm going to want to go back now and look through Trump coming on stage with
Yeah.
African. I mean, Herschel Walker. He's never said anything positive like that about Herschel Walker.
No, he never said, "Oh, look at Herschel Walker, great American." He does not say that. He'll just say Hooker. He'll just say a great person. He won't say great American. He only says it when he brings a white person on stage. He won't say it for any minorities because when he looks at a minority, he don't see him as American. He just doesn't. I mean,
It's, he,
you can even give him a birth certificate, and he does not. That's the way. But he's a boomer. The racism will not go away until you get rid of boomers and Generation X
so
because
what
it's
about Biden?
embedded in
What
their
about
mind from their
what about
parents
Biden?
telling
Biden
them
is a
as a kid.
boomer also.
Yeah, yeah, but some boomers come to they get past that racism because they're kids. Their kids convince them to not be racism, and not all boomers listen to their kids. So the best parents are the parents that listen to their kids, not the parents that say shut the freak up. And Trump's the
Okay,
kind of person
so
he tells his kids to
I gotta
shut up.
ask
He
you.
don't
Okay,
listen.
I gotta ask you a few questions that will obviously come up. Folks suggest that Trump has
Yeah.
actually been in a relationship with a black girl. How do you feel about folks saying that Trump dated a black girl, gave money to HBCUs? How do you respond to that type of stuff?
Well, he kicked out a whole bunch of he said he kicked out a whole bunch of black people in the Bronx. He did. He said get these effing blanks out of my housing. He said it in the Bronx. He said it in 1992 in the Bronx. He he
Wait,
had
wait.
a
Where did you
racial
hear
war
that at?
in the Bronx with
Where did you hear
poor
that at?
people.
I would like to see evidence. Where did you hear him saying something like that?
That was on a documentary about Trump back in the 80s. Because I'm from the 80s. I know Trump before he ever became president. He came to our area and built a casino and took advantage of all these contractors in my area, robbed them, blind, working people, took food out of their mouths, owed them paychecks, never paid them. I'm from Indiana, Northwest Indiana. He had a casino built in 1995. He took advantage of every working person on that job, didn't pay him, took off and ran, not paying nobody, no contractors. Let them hang and dry.
This documentary, by the way, folks, tap the screen, 35,000 likes as possible. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Some are pushing back, but this documentary, does it feature Trump saying the words himself
Yeah,
or someone else saying they heard it?
yes, yes. Yeah, he's on stage in the Bronx. It's like 1991, 1992. He's on stage. He is just he's just blatantly just say, I want these people out of these buildings because he's trying to tear them down and all that. You just have to watch it. It's back in the Bronx. It's 1991, 92, that era. Yeah,
I
and you'll
have got to
see.
see
And
that.
then not only that, he went and then and then on a casino with he's trying to get a casino built on a native land. And he was like, these ain't real Indians. I know what real Indians look like. He's been doing this for a long time. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever saw that one where he's in court trying to get casino built on native land. He's like, oh, I could tell if it's an Indian or not. The way they look, they don't look Indian. And the guy says, not everybody looks like they're supposed to be.
Damn. All
And
right,
see,
I
that's
gotta
what he
move.
and see, he goes by look.
Okay, I
So,
do gotta move it on. I do gotta move it
can
on.
I?
But after hearing from you, I'm gonna ask a question because I'm fearful for the answer. But I'm gonna ask you, what do you think America would be like if Trump were to be reelected in 2024?
more North Carolina, more Proud Boys, more, more. It's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be really bad because he will not leave office this time. He will not leave office. He'll never leave office. He already said that. He wants to be president for life. And then there's one more thing I want to say because I hear people saying to deregulate everything. Every time we deregulated, it put our country in a recession. Hoover in 1920 deregulated banks, caused the Great Depression. 1981, Ronald Reagan deregulated banks and insurance company and caused a recession 81, 82, and 83. He did it again and caused the market crash in 1987. George Bush in 2018 deregulated the insurance companies and banks and caused a recession. So every time you deregulate, it helps at the beginning, but it causes a recession in the long term. And inflation is not caused by government spending. Inflation is caused by corporate profits and greed. It's 54% proven that 54% of inflation is caused by corporate greed. There's too much money at the top. And it's not caused by government spending. So that's all I gotta say. So
Hey,
people
you're
need to get
welcome.
educated, and that's it. So
You're welcome back anytime, DJ
so
Magic Stick. Catch you later, man. All right. Looking in the comments, there were plenty of folks in here that favored my last guest, but there were no shortage of people that thought he was off his rocker. But as I always say, I make sure that anyone that comes in, you are aware that I am a huge proponent of the First Amendment. I protect free speech whether I agree with it or not. This is a MAGA-friendly program. I make that clear. MAGA are my preferred guests, but liberals are welcome too. So I seen some folks in the comments like, take them off, get them off. No, I would never do that. Because when I got MAGA folks on here, I get folks as far right as Q. In fact, I had a guest on here the other night that said that the entire slave trade in America was implemented by Jewish people. I didn't ban that person. I gave him 15 minutes in the box. So when we get a liberal online, it would not be fair to cut a liberal short. You're either for free speech or you're not. The moment you start suggesting that we censor people who disagree with you, you're no different than any other woke crowd individual or cancel culture. You're doing the same shit. It shouldn't be something you want done whether you are for it or not. But anyway, folks, unfortunately, the participation has been off the chain, fancy, prancy. Appreciate the hearts, the generosity, all of that good shit. Follow the program, folks. 11:30 a.m. Central Time is when we do these lunch break lives. Unfortunately, I got to terminate the live right now because I do got to get back to work. I hate doing it with over nearly 400 folks in here, but you guys, the participation has been off the chain. I always love to see that. 7 p.m. Central, we'll be on here tonight where I can do it a bit more from the studio, give you a few slides, but appreciate the fact you guys are rolling with me. You can be anywhere you want to be on social media, and the fact that you're rolling with your boy, it is an honor. I'll catch you tonight at 7 p.m. Follow the channel. Good shit.